Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. I really enjoyed this episode. I really did. So I'm wondering where do I even start from? So Gabby and Jake are talking to Abby, and it's like they're talking about they're moving back in, and whatever. Now Chad comes out of nowhere, and Chad is pretty much just like, of my dead body, or it's not going to happen or something like that. Like, you're not moving back in here. I'm looking at this whole thing, and I'm like, Chad, how the hell are you going to sit there and tell Gabby that her and Jake aren't moving back in when it's Gabby's place? When it's Gabby's place? How you going to sit there and tell her that she's not allowed to live there? It's like, yo, is this dude serious? So Gabby was like, yeah, you know what? I had just about enough of you. And he was like, yo, kick rocks. Get out. And at first, Abby's they're like, oh, we all got to leave and everything like that. And Gabby's like, no, no, no. You can stay. Your kids can stay. I want him gone. Like, get out. So, Chad is upset, but he's like, whatever. I'm out. So he packs up his stuff. He's just about to leave. And EJ comes in there. He's like, what's going on? And Gabby's like, yo, your brother's leaving. And you're next. When he started laughing, I was like, oh, Gabby, this is not going to end well for you. And he's pretty much just like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. And I don't care what you have to say. And he opens up his briefcase. And he's like, yep. See this D right here? Yeah, this is my place. This whole area is mine. So he's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. But you two, well, I don't really have to sit there and say much at this point. And I'm not going to lie, that was the best part of this episode, because Gabby, and granted, she was all sure of herself, and this is after she left Rafe's place, and she's like, she's in disbelief. I was like, Jake, you might want to catch her or put some pillows under her, because she looks like she's a little dazed and confused. And she's like, what's going on? This can't be legal. I'm calling my lawyer, blah, 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 blah. And he's just like, yeah, that's all good and well. You can call your lawyer, but you can do it from outside, from this house. When he walked in there, he was like, this is going to be a lot more fun than I expected or whatever. And he kicked those two out. Chad was smiling. Chad was like, I guess I'm not going anywhere. Guess you two are going somewhere. And Jake was just like, well, this isn't over. It's like, nah, bro, it's over. It's over. It's been over. What are you talking about? Why are you even talking for? Why don't you just follow her along out, wherever she's going to go? And of course, she went right back to Rafe's place. I'm not going to lie, that was so great. And of course, at this point, she decides to be a pain in the ass to Ava because, she still has the mentality of a high school girl. So that's awesome. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying all high school women or high school girls act like that. But the immature ones definitely do, and Gabby is no exception. Now afterwards, Chad's all like, so what, you gonna sit there and tell me this, and blah, 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 and now I'm indebted to you, and yada, 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 and Abby's like, yo, chill, you're here, like, just chill out, like, go unpack your stuff, and go up to your room, and we'll have dinner, like, because she was like, yo, listen, I get you're upset, but this dude did kind of like, saved your ass from being tossed out. So, chill. Um, and as, Abby, invites, EJ to dinner, he's like, no, I'm good. I'm waiting for a call back, because when somebody, pretty much he's like, when somebody tries to double cross me, it doesn't generally tend to end well. And I gotta sit there and say, I don't know about his past, but right now, people try to double cross him or don't do things his way, it doesn't, it generally does not tend to work out for them. Now, he was at Rafe's place, he was at the office of Rafe, and he was like, yo, I want my money back. And Rafe was like, yeah, I can't do that. I don't want to do it anyway, but I really can't because, the DA thinks that the money, is evidence and the whole Bonnie thing, so until that's resolved, you're not getting back your money, so I have work to do. And he leaves. Now, in the Stately Men, you got Xander and Gwen, and, Xander's pretty much just like, yo, what do we stand at? Like, we a thing? How do you feel about me? And, of course, Gwen, because she wants to stall, goes into this whole, spew about her upbringing and, being poor and, kind of guarding herself and all this other stuff like that. I'm like, that's all good and well. And I kind of understand where she's coming from. As far as, growing up, she kind of had to sit there and, kind of stuff her feelings down because, it was just rough. Her upbringing. And I'm like, yeah, that's all, good and well, but, he's here, you're there. He's kind of asking you a question, and you're really not giving him an answer. He talked about Sarah for a little bit, and, then he talked about EJ. It was like, yo, listen, EJ could sit there and reverse the charges at any point in time. And, Gwen kind of brought up a good point, which I'm not a lawyer, but, Gwen was like, you were, he got the charges dropped. So isn't that like double jeopardy if he, brings back up those charges? They both don't know, and I don't know at this point. And so, they both kind of come to some sort of conclusion that, yo, listen, if he was going to do something, he would already did it. So I'm good, I'm in the clear, and I'm pretty sure that's room service because he gets knocked on the door. And, of course, he opens it, and it's Rafe. Basically, Smith is saying, yep, those charges that EJ dropped, yeah, they just showed back up. So, I'm going to arrest him now at this point. And, honestly, to tell you the truth, Xander kind of was just like, he wasn't even surprised at this point. He was just like, yeah, I was kind of waiting for this. Hell, he was either waiting for, either him getting kicked out, a knock on the door, him getting kicked out because he hasn't paid in probably forever, or the police. So, at some point, somebody was going to come and get him for something. Chloe has not been on my good side so far. But today's episode, she decided to actually act loyal. I'm not saying that she doesn't act loyal, but she's just been kind of pissing me off. But in this episode, she does act loyal. She comes in and she overhears Victor. Victor's plan about, Brady seducing Chloe to have Philip focus more on work. And I'm not gonna lie, I know a lot of people do not like Victor, and I get that he's done some very terrible things. And so I'm not gonna excuse any of that. But I'd be lying if I sit there and say that this dude he practically was like, because Chloe was like, oh, okay, so now I'm good enough for Brady. And Victor was like, well, at this point, Kristen set the bar so low that you could just pretty much just kind of crawl over it at this point. And I'm like, damn, Victor. I'm not gonna lie, when Victor says stuff when he burns people, it's like this guy had years of practice at this point. So I'm just loving all the Victor scenes, and I am glad that he's back. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I'm personally glad that he's back. Now, Brady's like, oh, I'm not really about that plan that Victor was sent there talking about. But Chloe was like, but you practically did run to him to try to oust, Philip. And, at this point, Brady's all like, oh, well, I'm doing it for the company because he's all being obsessed with you and, it's my legacy and it's my daughter's legacy. And I'm like, I'm not sitting there saying that there's not a hint of truth in there. But let's be honest, you're only doing it just to screw him over. You only sit there telling Victor just to screw him over. And you're totally fine. I mean, at one point, it almost seemed like he admitted it. Like, he was totally cool with taking Chloe away from, taking her away from Philip. And, at this point, she was like, yo, listen, I'm not sitting there trying to, like, turn you away or, like, back you down. But, like, she pretty much kind of told him off. She told him off. And I was just like, honestly, tell you the truth, when she finished telling him off, Brady was just, like, shocked. Like, just, like, I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm not a terrible person. I'm like, bro, she didn't say you were a terrible person, but she did call you out on a lot of your BS, and to be honest, you're not really seem like you're defending yourself. Now, Ava wasn't there telling Philip that, Gabby and Jake are pretty much trying to oust him. But at this point, Gabby Chic is making them a lot of money. And I guess he's going to sit there and need to find some proof. Ava was like, listen, I'm telling you this on one condition. And that she wants a job. And Philip was like, how am I going to explain to my grandfather? How am I going to explain to my dad that I'm going to hire the woman who practically tried to blackmail me, launder money to the company, and threatened to kill me and break my legs? How's that conversation going to work out? But he didn't exactly turn her down. He was just like, he basically was like, you don't really seem like you're too qualified to work here. But, when Rafe got there, Philip left, and Philip was like, alright, we'll be in touch. So, I guess the question is, what is he going to do? Because Ava was like, so I just told you all this stuff of what she's planning on doing to you. And you're just going to just let a snake just practically stay in your place? Like, you're cool with that? But at this point, at least Philip does know, that Gabby and Jake are, pretty much confirmed what Kate said. So I'm wondering what he's actually going to do at this point. Now, he does come back to the house, I guess the Kyriakis house. He does come back there. And, he does come back there, and, he's talking to Brady and everything like that, and he apologized to Brady for accusing him of, the key log or whatever. And he's like, yo, listen, why don't you stay for dinner? I'm pretty sure, Victor misses you. And it'll be good for him to sit there and smile and stuff like that. So, pretty much Chloe is smiling or whatever, because it shows that, Philip isn't there trying to be a better person. He's not perfect, but he's trying. And Brady is just kind of like in shock, like, damn it, I can't really say anything because he's being nice and decent and showing growth and change, and that's just gonna mess with my whole plan. Isn't it? They're getting her back. I can't do anything now. I just imagine is what he's sitting there thinking. And he invites him to stay for dinner, and he accepts. And when he leaves, Chloe's like, see, he's trying. And, Brady's like, yeah, we'll see. Okay, I'm a bit confused about that. Okay, so, Brady, well, Philip, nephew, well, hold on, let me just try to say this right. Because everyone's so close together. So, Brady, Philip is his uncle. And I'm just like, how does that work? Philip is his uncle, but they all went to high school at the same time? They're all the same, they're around the same age, but yet Philip is his uncle? I can't be the only person that's kind of confused about that. I mean, I don't really know my history of days and everything like that, but I'm just kind of like, how does that work? I don't know. I imagine like my uncle to be around my mother's age, which is older than me. So I can't imagine, you know, it's not the same my uncle, which is around the same age, and we kind of went to the same high school. Like, I get it's a soap opera, but that's stretching it even by soap opera logics, like by soap opera standards. And when Rafe gets back, Rafe is just like, so what's going on? Because Ava decided not to work for Julie because, well, Doug cursed her out. Of course, she doesn't really know what's going on with Doug, so she's just like, you know what, listen, I'm not working for crazy people. She doesn't tell Rafe that, but when Rafe is like, why would Philip want to hire you after everything that you did to him? And, you know, the only answer that Ava could really sit there and give her, without just saying why and outing Gabby and everything like that, is that, oh, well, he knows that I'm a changed woman now. So, yeah. They were about to sit there and eat, except for that's when, you know, Rafe got the call to arrest Xander. And, of course, you know, that's when Gabby and Jay came back, was like, oh, cool, you know, and they start eating and stuff like that, and I'm just like, Gabby, you really are something else. You really are something else. So now you're gonna sit there and be a pain in the ass to Ava again. I'm just sitting there wondering how much is Ava gonna take before Ava's just like, listen, I don't care that we're going out. I'm gonna sit there and put a stop to Gabby at this point, because I feel like she keeps poking the bear, and I'm like, you don't know her history, you don't know how psychotic she can sit there and get, and I feel like I feel like she's gonna piss her off to the point where it's like, you know, listen, like she's just gonna snap and lose it, which would be a very amazing and epic sight to see, because at this point I think we all know how I feel about Gabby, so I think that's about it. I feel like I missed maybe one or two things. I can't think of what it is. But I really feel like I missed about one or two things. But with that being said, I think that's about it. If I missed anything, please write it down in the comment section below. I want to thank everyone for watching today, tomorrow, and just being amazing subscribers. Because I always sit there and read the comments and stuff like that, but I just want to sit there and say personally, thank you everyone for watching, just being amazing, always being supportive, sending me clips, and just, again, watching. It's weird, because I don't know if I said this in the beginning, because I know I did, like, I didn't like how the first video came out, so I did it again, but it's odd, because I enjoyed this episode so much more than I enjoyed General Hospital. And granted, I've been watching General Hospital for a long time. And I'm very happy that people told me about Days of Our Lives. It's weird because I'm thinking about watching another show. I don't know how it's going to work with time and everything like that, but I'm considering watching Y&R. I don't know, I'm kind of up in the air about it, but anyway, I just want to thank everyone for watching, and yeah, be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Thank you for being amazing subscribers, and I will see you in the next video.